That's right. I am your host. I'm attorney Stephen Leahy, and this is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560. The Answer. Joined today with my co-host, my nephew, my realtor, Jim Leahy.
That's right.
My technical producer, Deborah Schreiner, and our very special guest, Joel Afric. I knew that, Joel. And
he's been watching a lot of TV lately.
That's true. But we were just talking the last segment about Hustle. It used to be called Hustle Up to Hancock. Now it's just
I want
called
to keep
Hustle.
calling it that.
I understand because that was such a good name.
Is it Hustle Chicago or is it just the Hustle or?
It's Hustle Chicago, trademark pending.
That's right.
So I want people to know we talked. Joel was on the show before, and I learned something, and that Joel is an attorney. So tell us a little about your law career and what brought you to this.
Well, you never know. One of my professors in law school on the last day of class closed the books, said, I got a different talk for you now. And he talked to us about what we were about to go out and do. And he said, if at some point your heart or your head tells you to be doing something else, he said, don't let the golden handcuff keep you in the practice of law. And 20 years later, I practiced law for 20 years, the last 17 years at Jenner & Block as a partner.
Big-time law firm.
And at the end of 20 years, I heard a little voice saying it's time to do some mission-related work. And I gave up my partnership and became the president and CEO of Respiratory Health. I never thought about doing this when I was in law school, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Good for you. You know, one thing about many lawyers is that that you don't have to practice law to use that knowledge that you gather my own practice. I never really thought I was going to be a lawyer, a practicing attorney. When I went to law school, to run my own business, and I thought I already had a bachelor's in business, so I thought I don't want to get an MBA. I'll get a law degree. And then I run a business, but it's a law business, so I do practice law. So it's a lot. It's having a law degree is awesome. My own opinion. Try to push my kids in that. Try to push Jim. He don't want to do that.
That's why I'm a realtor. It was quicker to get that.
But tell us a little bit now. So you've been doing this how long with Respiratory Health?
I'm now in my 18th year as of this week.
Wow, that's
18 years
time.
You've been doing this work.
Now,
and you've been doing such great work. We were just talking about it on the last segment, how great of a job you guys do to get the word out, how you tell people about the hustle. I mean, how many people generally sign up for it?
We have up to 4,000 climbers with us.
Wow.
Most of them do the full climb. We've got some people, and especially families, who will do the half climb together. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But it takes 4,000 climbers. It takes over 300 volunteers. Hundreds of pounds of bananas, tons of bagels, and a lot of water. We put in order for 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 bottles of water.
Wow, that's a lot of water.
You got to have water. Got to stay hydrated.
Hey, what do you need that for? Lake Michigan's right next door. What are you doing?
But anyway,
it does get dry in those stairwells. I'll tell you what. I brought my own water. I'm like, I'll conserve. I got my own water. I ended up grabbing like 2 other bottles on the way up because you're sweating. You're really hustling.
I don't drink water while I'm climbing.
Look at us, Steve.
I just didn't.
Cool I am.
Because that's not my training. Because when I train, I don't listen to music, and I'm always concentrating. Try to go faster.
However you train, that's how you should climb. Exactly. Don't change it up on event day.
Because
that's right.
Again, Jim and I had a great time. We went down. I went to Loyola, so I was familiar with Pippin's. Right, the bar right there. So we stopped in there the night before. We stayed at the hotel. Is it the Hilton over there?
It is the Hilton, and that's where we have the post-event expo afterwards with free pizza and beer and things like that.
That was a lot of fun too. And we stayed there, and we got up and went to the Hancock. At the time, it was called the Hancock, and it stood in line. And with all the people, what a great group of people there are that walk up.
We met a guy last year. He was from Michigan. And he was a former Marine, and he just goes, I do this every year. Like, how often you get up? He goes, I get about like 13, 14 minutes. Like, whoa. I'm like, he goes, yes. Yeah, I mean, this is a lot better than Detroit, but I mean.
I think that man was in his 60s, too.
Yeah, and I mean, I
you have a lot of older people that I see that a lot of young people for sure. That's for sure. But there's a lot of older people that climb.
There's a guy who comes from Rockford with his 2 grandsons. He's now 82 years old, and he's planning to climb. Our oldest climber ever was 91 years old, and he had only 1 lung.
Wow. 91. Climbing up all those stairs, 94 flights of stairs. His
trainer was 76. And the trainer was insistent that we have 2 separate age groups so that each one could win his age group. I told him, I said, your client at 91 is going to win his age group. I said, but you got to be good because I got a lot of people between 70 and 80.
Is that right? Yes, that's true. And not a lot of 90s, though.
Not a lot of 90s.
But that's how everybody gets involved in this. It's such a great thing.
How did the idea come about? I know we touched a little bit about it.
This predates you, though, right? It predates your association with the organization.
It is. We've got 22 hustles up the Hancock, Hustles Chicago now.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
before it was Hustle Up the Hancock.
Exactly.
Now we're starting the Hustle Chicago. I mean, it's just a neat idea that somebody had. For us, it's a great winter fitness activity, and there are a lot of people who started this as a lark to do one of them, and then said, you know what? This kept me in shape all winter. It's good aerobic fitness activity. There are groups around downtown office buildings that have formed groups, and they practice in their building. They make new friends. We've even had a couple get married.
Is that right?
Who met through Hustle.
Really?
So you have other events also, don't you? You do some bike events. You do some, don't you?
We do. We've got a great bike event August 3rd, 4th, and 5th called Cowalunga. We like to put the word lung in our events if we can. Cowalunga starts at Gurney Mills. We go up to Lake Geneva, near Lake Geneva for day 1 if you want to ride either 18 miles or 65 miles. If you ride a second day with us, you go up to Whitewater, Wisconsin. And a third day, we finish in Hubertus, Wisconsin, outside of Milwaukee.
Wow. Whoa. That's
It's a lot of miles on a bike, but it's a lot of fun.
I've never been much of a bike guy myself.
That would be fun, but boy, you got to really train for that. I mean, the Hustle Up the Hancock, or Hustle Chicago, I mean, listen, I didn't do much training and I still did it. Do you need to train? Yeah, you should. You should definitely train for this event, but if you want to put in the minimal training, you could do it, and you could do the 94 flights of stairs. You definitely could.
Well, nobody's up there pushing you. Say, hey, hurry up.
It's such a welcoming event too. It's such just like a hey, finish it when you can, and when you get up to the top, just the whole kind of ceremony is cool.
Yeah.
The atmosphere being up on the observation deck.
Not to mention the view. Right, because it's just
the
beautiful.
view is fantastic.
Just beautiful up there in the 95th floor.
The people are great. The stories, there are as many stories, Steve, as there are people standing in line ready to climb.
Absolutely true. And I think one of the things we talked about last time you were here is about how all of us are connected to someone that has lung issues. All of us have. In my own family, many of I shouldn't say many, but I'm going to say many. Many of my relatives have passed away from lung cancer and other forms of lung disease. And so this is an important issue for all of us. So while the Hustle Up the Hancock or Hustle Up Chicago or Hustle Chicago is a great event, there's lots of meaning to it. And I think that we don't want to lose focus of that. We don't want to lose that about how many people you guys help.
Well said.
What are you hustling for this year?
You mean whom?
You. What are you hustling for? Because it's last year we were talking. I hustled for just raising awareness on asthma because I have allergy-induced asthma with animals.
My father passed away of lung cancer, so I always think of my dad when we're out there. Why I do it. And again, it's being involved in it. It's helped me, as you mentioned. It helps me train, right? It helps me keep going because I know that this event's coming, and I want to be prepared, and so it keeps me going. And I think that's an important thing too. As you mentioned, it's in the middle of winter where it'd be easy to stop doing it.
Listen, we're running out of time, Joel. Let's get your information, not yours necessarily, but how do we sign up?
www.resp.health.org/hustle.
That's right, RESP, RESP, health.org, resp.health.org?
Yep, /hustle.
Awesome. I just want to make sure for everybody driving. Remember, this show is sponsored by Open Tax Resolution, 312-664-6649, and visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. If you're trying to hustle this year, hustle with Opum. That's right, Opum Tax Reserves. We're gonna have a team. We're gonna give more information until the event comes up, and we're going to talk about when the event's taking place. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to our sponsors and come right back on AM 560. The Answer.